Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our class for the 3rd of February, 2025. Let's come to seated towards the front of our chair. Turn our thoughts inward. And as we do at the start of most of our classes, let's bring our focus to the breath. Try and notice the belly moving with the breath. And become an external observer of how your breath is moving today. Is the belly expanding and contracting with each breath? And you know that I've mentioned often in class that the diaphragm is our primary breathing muscle. Just doing some reading this morning about the diaphragm, and it has muscles that are called a slow twitch muscle. So I think it's the article, what I was reading said we take 22,000 breaths a day. And the diaphragm, the way it's evolved, it can keep going because of the type of muscle that it is. It can keep going without fatiguing, without stopping. So we want to encourage the diaphragm, the use of the diaphragm as much as we can in our breathing. And also encourage the breath to move as deeply into the lungs as we can. Today, I want you to feel the connection of your feet to the floor. You can look down at the feet. They should be about hip distance apart. Raise all 10 toes off the floor and see if you can fan the toes out any amount. See if you can create some space between each of the toes. Lift the arches. Feel the connection at the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the center of the heel to the floor. Feel the connection of the seat to the seat of the chair. Starting at the sacrum, visualize each of the vertebrae of the lumbar spine stacking one upon the next with a slight forward curve. The vertebrae of the thoracic spine stacking one upon the next with a slight rearward curve. The shoulder blades moving in towards the thoracic spine. The vertebrae of the cervical spine stacking one upon the next to the base of the skull. And now I want you to bring the attention to the front body. Bring the attention to the core muscles going up the front of the body, supporting the spine, and keeping the spine in alignment. Begin to even out the flow of the breath. And use your own count today to first even the breath between the inhale and the exhale breath. And then gradually stretch out the exhale breath to maybe 50% longer than the inhale breath, or maybe double the length of the inhale breath. Let's bring one hand to rest on the belly and one hand to rest on the heart. And feel the belly expand gently into the pressure of the hand as you inhale. And then use the pressure of the hand to press the belly back towards the spine as you exhale. This type of breathing is calming. And think of how often, if you see somebody getting agitated or you become agitated, you hear those words, take a deep breath. Let's bring the hands now down to the side. And during today's practice, can you set an intention to focus on awareness throughout our practice, awareness of the muscles that are moving, and awareness of how the body is moving throughout the range of motion that we may put the limbs through. So not just becoming accustomed or robotic in the types of moves, to really think about perhaps all the muscles that engage as you take the right fingers to the floor and the muscles that engage to lower the left fingers to the floor. Continuing, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, and let's add that reach across, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, and just hold, reaching the left fingertips across the body for 12. Maintaining awareness of the breath as we move into this posture, and then inhaling and taking the right fingertips, reaching them across the body, breathing into the posture, creating awareness all the way down the right side as we stretch it out, drawing that right shoulder back, and inhaling, bringing both arms overhead. Take the left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Take the right hand behind you and twist towards the right side, twisting an amount that's appropriate for you. And remember, you might use the elbows like this to avoid, so that the turn comes from the muscles, the obliques, rather than from muscles of the arms. Let's reach the arms back overhead and twist in the opposite direction, again, using the arms as is appropriate for you. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, fold at the hips, taking the upper body over the legs. Rise about halfway up on your inhale. Exhale, fold again, and inhale, come all the way up and draw the hands back to heart center. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up and exhale the hands back to heart center. Let's just check in for a moment with that intention to move mindfully throughout those range of motions in each of the moves that we do. Now let's bring the hands onto the thighs, draw the shoulder blades back, chest proud, and we'll do some cat-cow moves, lifting the chest up as we inhale and fill the lungs, and then exhaling, rounding towards the back of the chair. Again, keeping the range of motion appropriate for you. Inhaling up for 2, exhale back for 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 5, 5, and 6, and 6. And back to a neutral spine. Take the arms to the sides, raise the arms overhead, and let's bring the arms down to a cactus set of arms. Bring the shoulder blades in towards each other on the back. So just move a little bit to get those shoulder blades moving in, and then touch the elbows together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the next time, wrap the arms around each other or reach onto the opposite shoulders. Raise the fingertips towards the ceiling. In seated eagle, draw the sit bones back and tilt the body over the legs. Inhale, come back to center. Unravel the arms, come back to cactus. Touch again for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then whatever way you wrap the arms around each other, go to the opposite wrap. Inhale, pull the sit bones back to tilt the pelvis forward as we come into and as we fold over the legs. Let the next inhale carry you back to neutral. Unravel the arms, stretch the fingertips out towards the side, and then make small circles, go larger and larger, and then smaller and smaller and smaller, and then go in the opposite direction. And then take the right arm across the left, hook the left arm around, and stretch, pull the shoulder blade away. But remember, don't let the shoulder blade come up towards the ears. Keep drawing it down as you go across. Release the right arm, take the left arm across. Hook it around the right arm. And breathe here. Once released, interlace the fingers behind the back. Shove the knuckles into the seat of the chair. Draw the shoulder blades back and together. One more breath here. And now, some of you that were here early, I previewed that we might do some reverse table. We haven't done that for a while. So, grasping the edge of your chair, let's begin with the feet, heels just underneath the knees. You might walk them up just a little bit. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back and lift the seat away from the chair. Or not. Go back towards the chair. We're going to repeat that work, and you can either stretch the feet out or continue have the feet underneath the knees. Stretch the feet out, and again go into a reverse plank. And come back onto the seat of the chair. Great job, everybody. Let's lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, come up about halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Let's bring now, again, another thing that we haven't done for ages is seated cobra. So palms are facing towards me. Tips of the fingers are in line with the top of the shoulders. And think of pulling the heel of the hand down towards the floor as you lift the sternum up towards the ceiling. Breathe into this pose. Take one more breath here. And exhale, release. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Rise about halfway up on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And return the hands to heart center. Let's now move to the lower body, interlacing our fingers. Let's come around the right shin and point and flex the toes. One more time. And then circle 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Reach behind the right thigh. Support the right thigh with the hands, or you can let go of the right thigh and just use the core muscles, particularly the hip flexor muscles, to hold the leg while we raise and lower the lower leg for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Bring the sole of the right foot to the inner edge of the left foot. Sit towards the front of your chair. Raise the arms overhead. And come into our seated version of tree pose. Breathing here for 1, 2, and 3. Lower the arms. Draw the right knee in. Find the non-dominant interlace of the fingers. Draw the knee in towards the shoulder. Point and flex the toes. 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, and 3. Circle 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3. Interlace the fingers behind the left thigh, or hold the arms out and support the leg with the hip flexors and raise and lower for 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Bring the sole of the left foot to the inner edge of the right foot. Sit toward the front of the chair. Raise the arms overhead. Breathe here. Inhale for 1. 2. And 3. Release the arms. Draw the knees in. Let's walk the feet a little wider now than hip distance. So taking the legs into a V. Allow both knees to sway right and twist left. And then allow both knees to go left and twist right. Inhale, come back to center. Let's leave the legs in that V shape. Bring the blocks into the center of the V. And remember, the blocks are optional. When we do our forward folds with the legs wide, we could leave the hands on the knees or just above the knees and fold into this space. This gives us a lot of support for the spine. We can come and bring the blocks onto the floor. Again, we're supporting the spine by keeping the spine long and straight, or we can try different heights on our blocks, as long as coming deeper into this pose doesn't entail us rounding the spine. So let's come back up, come back to heart center. And let's begin by just bringing the hands onto the thighs above the knees, lengthen the spine, fold into that space, and we're just going to twist gently into the space in the center. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 6. Now, let's fold and see if we can bring our hands somewhere into the center, either on the blocks or on the floor at any height, and press the elbows into the inner edge of the legs and squeeze the legs into the elbows. So coming into somewhat of a seated version of crow pose. And taking one more breath here. And let's inhale, come all the way up and draw the hands back to heart center. Let's walk the hands back in, find our weights, and maybe we might consider grabbing a drink at this point. Remember, staying hydrated, since I'm not always the best at cueing taking a drink, I'm counting on you to stay hydrated if you need to. So let's begin our weight work by crossing the weights across the chest and bringing our awareness to these muscles that run up and down the front of the body. And also, the obliques, some of the other core muscles that come into play to help us control ourselves as we angle back towards the chair and inhale, and then exhale, come forward and fold over the legs. For 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Remembering our intention of awareness. 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, and we'll hold on 12 for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and come back to neutral. Lower the weights to the side, take the weights forward, lift the shoulders, go back, down, forward, up, back, and down, and forward, up, back, and down. Before we do our second set of crunches back towards the chair, let's do some curls. So just bring the weights to the side, raise the weights up to the shoulders, and then drag them back down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's find that opposite cross of the arms. Again, bring that focus, bring the awareness to those core muscles, and keeping the back moving as one unit. Inhale, back towards, and then exhale, come forward. Inhale. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And hold for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And come back to center. So I don't know whether you noticed it or not, but particularly when you're holding back, notice how the transverse abdominal muscles, the muscles that run from side to side across the abdomen, and they're the deepest layer, those are engaged when or at least I notice those engaging when we're angled towards the back of the chair and holding. Let's bring the weights just above the knees, and we're going to do some heel lifts. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So to emulate the action of walking, we're going to raise one heel and then the opposite heel. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, and 12, and 12. Heels underneath the knees, and now just raise the toes up away from the floor as well. So bring the toes in towards the shins, and let's rock back and forth. So heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and heel, and toe. Let's see if we can take the toes up on one foot and the heel up on the other. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 6, and 6. Well, let's now again lengthen the spine, draw the shoulder blades together, and just come slightly forward. Lift the elbows, and we're going to take the forearm, lift and lower the forearms. So this is just somewhat the same as our hammer curls. Now with the body forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's come back to our seated mountain pose here. Draw our shoulder blades back and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And lower. Setting side now. Let's now turn sideways on our chair. Bring one thigh to rest on the chair and angle the other leg into the center of the room. Support yourself on the back of the chair. Stack your spine. Raise the outside arm and arc and angle towards the chair. Come back to center, take the outside elbow to the outside leg and reach across in the opposite direction. Let's inhale, come back up to center. And now bring the outside knee underneath the outside hip. Once again, support the chair side arm on the back of the chair. Knee is underneath the hip. The front of that outside hip is moving slightly forward. Reach up and over and arc back over the chair. Come back to center. And now let's take that leg all the way back. You can either support yourself on the back of the chair. We're working that outside leg towards being straight. And back to those core muscles we worked on earlier. Draw the pubic bone towards the navel, strengthen the front body, and lift up into a chair-supported version of runner's lunge. Twist into the center of the room. Take the chair side elbow onto the chair side knee and stretch across in extended side angle. From extended side angle, come up into warrior two. Drop the hands, draw that outside leg in, and let's come back through center. Just pause with the legs in a V for a moment. And we'll just let the knees sway right and left and right and left. And now we'll face in the opposite direction. So we begin with the legs in a V. Chair side arms supported on the back of the chair. Stacking the spine. Reach that outside arm up. And then arc towards the back of the chair. Inhale, come back to center. Take the outside elbow to the outside thigh and reach out. Inhale, come back up. Let's take that outside knee underneath the outside hip on this side. Reach the upper outside arm up and over and arc towards the back of the chair. Inhale, come back up. Slide that outside leg back as far as you can. We're working that leg towards being straight. Getting a nice stretch in the hip flexors, the front of the hip. Bring the hands onto the thigh. Strengthen those core muscles. Lift up into a runner's lunge. Turn into the center of the room. Let the heel go towards the floor. Reach across in extended side angle. Back up to warrior two. And breathe. Let's draw that back leg in. Now we're going to come up to standing. And today we're going to face the seat of our chair. Make sure that your chair is stable. It's not going to slide on the floor. We're going to come to standing mountain pose, facing the seat of our chair. So feet are at that same hip distance apart. Build your standing mountain pose from the feet up. Bringing awareness to the feet, to the arches of the feet, to the inner legs, to the pelvis, the belly, to the ribs, to the shoulders, and the head. Deep breath. And use the next inhale breath to raise the arms overhead, and then exhale, fold towards the seat of the chair. Hips or heels underneath the hips, shoulders over the wrists. Firm up the belly. And we'll do some cat-cow moves here. Inhaling, letting the belly go towards the seat of the chair. And then exhaling, rounding the back an appropriate amount for you towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Back the feet away about 1 foot length and begin to work your way toward a downward dog supported by the chair. Remember, if you're feeling a lot of strain in the lower back, bend the knees slightly forward. And then consider if you reach your appropriate spot for our chair-supported downward dog, or moving the feet back just a little more. Again, bring awareness to the feet, to the legs, to the belly, to the arms, to the shoulders. And think of all the instructions that I may have given along the way about how to come into this pose. Let's start to bring the body forward any amount in towards the chair-supported plank. And you can stop at any point along this journey when you think you've got the right balance of ease and effort. Maybe coming to the point where the body is one straight line from the top of the head to the heels. And then pull the belly back, come all the way back, and come back into that chair-supported down dog. Angle the right toes towards the side of your mat and step the left foot into the shin comes in contact with the edge of the chair. Let's rise up. You might have the hands on the waist, or you might lift one or both arms overhead for warrior one pose. Send the hands back to the chair. Step back to our down dog. Now turn the left toes out and step the right shin in towards the edge of the chair. And let's rise up again into our down dog, our warrior one pose. Let's raise up. And then exhale back towards the chair. Step back to down dog. Walk the feet back in to the point where the heels are underneath the hips. Firm up the core muscles. So we're going to stretch the right leg all the way back. And you might bring the left hand to the back of the chair or reach it out. You can either hold the hand out or bring it to the back of the chair or to the seat of the chair. Now, we're just going to turn that upper part of the thigh inward slightly and tap the right toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Bring the right foot back to the floor. Stretch the left foot all the way back. And either bring the right hand to the back of the chair or reach it out. And you can bring the hand to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair and tap the left toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's come back to that chair supported down dog once more. Again, finding the right distance that the feet are away from the chair. Remember, you can bend the knees ever so slightly. And keep taking the heels back. And let's come forward once more into our plank pose. Firming up the core muscles, support us, and stopping anywhere along that journey towards the body being one straight line. Draw back, stretch out, walk the feet in, and we'll finish our standing work with tree pose. Then beside our chair, we can lift the outside heel and stay here. We can bring the heel to the ankle. We can stop. We can come to the calf. Or today might be an inner thigh day, or it might not. Raise the arms overhead. And I want you to take the focus to a point other than the screen. And build your focus on that point. Draw the hands back to heart center. Let's step out, take the leg back. Just do a couple of side steps to loosen things up here again. And let's go to the opposite side. Remember, as always, to build your foundation in your chair side foot, raise the heel, come to the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh, and again, find a focal point that isn't the screen. Exhale, bring the hands down. Let's just sidestep a bit. And come back to our seats. Coming back to our seated mountain pose. You can sit towards the front of our chair. And good time to grab some more water if you choose to. If the breath has become a little irregular, a little raggy, try and bring it back to that even rhythm. Let's walk the feet out wide, coming into our wide-legged forward fold. Exhaling, folding into the center again, using the blocks as appropriate. Inhale, come all the way up. Draw the hands back to heart center. Let's inhale the arms overhead again and come into a wide-legged twist. Inhale, raise the arms overhead and twist in the opposite direction. Inhale, come back to center. Let's walk the feet back into center. And now add any clothing that you might need to stay warm and comfortable during final relaxation. Take a drink if necessary. Slide towards the back of your chair. And prepare yourself for final relaxation. So let's begin that journey into relaxation by bringing the focus to the breath. But now we're going to let go of our mental effort to shape the breath and let the breath find its own rhythm. And as we let go of the intention to shape the breath, we're also going to let go of the intention to shape the body. So we're no longer seeking to create a certain external shape of the body. We're allowing the body to find shape that is defined by the chair. Or if you've gone to the floor for your final relaxation, defined by the floor. And perhaps the most important, but the most difficult part, final relaxation, is relaxing the mind. So keeping the mind within the boundaries of the body, following the breath, perhaps noticing how that relaxation of the breath results in a relaxation of the whole body. And give you about a minute of silence to just allow that relaxation and the sensations that arise during relaxation. Slowly, gently begin to deepen the breath. Nod the head forward and back, and side to side. Move the fingers, the wrists, the toes, and the ankles. Lie back towards the front of your chair. Come to seated mountain pose. Do a quick scan of the body. Observe the effect of your practice. And now on the next breath, raise the arms overhead. Draw the hands back to heart center. And thank yourself for making time this practice today. And thank yourself for making those incremental improvements that come each time we practice. And thank you also for the honor of being able to guide you through your practice today. Thank you.